problems. 100 a pound. Man, the producer is getting a stern call into the office, Matt. Stern call into the office. Happy Thirsty Thursday.
Turdo Thursday. Turdo
Thursday. HFR from the floor. HFR from Earth. HFR from the Matrix, depending on where you find me. Mistrade, Matt Davio. The show is Market Vitals. Our home base is marketvitals.io. We talk markets, you know. Matt, I don't even know where I want to start today. Really, I tweeted yesterday, Matt. I can't even watch the NBA. I can't even watch it.
Well, how about the two incidences yesterday? I sent them to you in the rollout here. So why don't you pull those up real quick? But we had fans dumping shit on players. We had Russell Westbrook, and then we had I think it was pretty crazy. And basically, people are so angsty, and the Knicks are winning. They finally won their first playoff game in probably 122 years last night. And so the fans were literally shitting themselves, even though they're the favorite. They lost the game 1 to Atlanta. And then, it was like all this last night, Bob. It was definitely rocking in Madison Square. I didn't watch it. I just saw the replays of the fans dumping shit on the players. But
Well, somebody tweeted out, I obviously wasn't watching, and they were like, the guy said, say something nice about the Knicks, please. And I said, well, next year is only 4 months away, right?
The next season is coming up quickly.
Wait till next year. The great thing is it's only 4 months away. You get another shot at it.
Yeah. I'm not in it. Like, I've never been. My kids love the NBA. I'm not a huge NBA fan. That it's interesting because I think I saw you in some thread yesterday online. Somebody was talking about NBA and you just said, listen, I don't either. There's no doubt these guys are some of the best athletes, but the rules have been skewed. They travel all the time. So it's really not basketball anymore. It's like a combination of soccer, football, rugby, where you can take 17 steps, AKA the Euro step, So
it's socialized basketball.
Basically the Euro step means travel. It just means
right,
travel.
Exactly. It's socialized basketball.
It's European basketball. It's European finance. It's European basketball. So is that where we're heading? We're gonna, it's a different.
And I just cannot get the Mark Cuban thing out of my mind. Like I hate it so much. The fucking most of the country struggling through this bullshit, and he's tweeting about how difficult it's been for us and our players to play an NBA season during COVID. Like, shut the fuck up. Are you fucking kidding me? How difficult it's been. Like, seriously, how fucking out of touch is this prick? Anyway, let's talk, prices. We talk about price elasticity. Hey, you want to jump in?
No, well, yeah. While you're saying that, I got a couple things that I want to talk about reality here because, and I'll hold on a second. I want to go back to this NBA thing real quick and just finish on this. But I think it's real. Like, what's going on there is real. And then to your point, what's going on in the real world, Mark Cuban, is stuff like this. And this is from today's, the pending home sales decreased 4.4%. And I know you've got some charts this will lead into it. So I want to throw this up there. And this is from Bill McGraw, Calculated Risk. You should follow him if you don't already he's got some great tidbits of macro. And this is a fantastic one. I mean, this is huge because they were expecting an increase again. And this is going to lead into the charts that you're talking about and the ones that I've kind of posted here earlier. And let me bring up this one also, because this is another one, Bob, and then we can lead into this. The U.S., this is the United States, I'm not picking out a state. Now we can pick out states after we do this. This is kind of this is called tracktherecovery.org. And this is a chart this is unemployment. So let me go back to the small business revenue chart that I had up before we started here, and then I went to employment. But we are down today, Bob, 30.5% from January of 2020 small business revenue. Okay, that's today. We might have got back to about 20% down right away there in July, and we almost got back to it here at the end of March. But this is not a pretty picture. When 80% of the country's revenues come from small businesses, a 30% decrease means we've got a 24% loss in overall revenues in this country. That's not being shifted, although, and they don't have one here that kind of shows like the, the big boxes.
Big box.
I would like
Right
to see
on.
that. This is more small business oriented, but I would like to see how that looks. And you can see it's pretty much consistent. You can see every state that I hover over, including ours in Oregon, we're doing a little bit better. We're only down 10%. That's probably because we have less big boxes than a lot of the bigger states, right? We don't have as many in our state, but we have broken policy and all kinds of shit happening here that, it's not too exciting.
Well, Matt, the other thing that jumps out at me when you share that revenue drop now, especially in the past 4 months of this year, the cost side of that equation is getting jammed in everybody's ass.
Well, and so this is the thing, and I'm going to hand it over to you now, and we can kind of hop over to those other charts, because this is showing up. And we talked about the housing to start with. We talked about small business revenue dropping 30%. And then you have home builder confidence through the roof, literally, because they're charging more than they believe they can get. And they've been getting it, but that's stopped. That has stopped now, Bob.
Yeah, in fact, that confidence level is retreating.
Well, if I were a builder, I'd be running for the fucking hills right now. I'd be like, fucking stop all production.
While the home buyer confidence as uncharted territory, along with home buying intentions, uncharted territory to the downside. And the last one was major appliances buying intentions. We actually have those intentions in this household right here. And when you shared this chart, I thought to myself, well, how about we wait 6 months? Right now, we went to the appliance store and they're like, it's 1 or 2 months lead time minimum to actually get something into your house. Unless you hold up the appliance store, which is not a bad idea, right? And just take the floor model. But
well, in California, as long as you go for the washer first and then come back for the dryer, I think you can come in under that $950 price level and get away with that. You just got to bring your own dolly.
I've moved a lot of appliances in my life, and that's a fact. Anyway, Matt, we talk about this. The prices, there is a thing of elasticity of price and supply and demand, all these economic things. And for sure, the policies have not been beneficial.
Well, Bob, let me, while we're on the subject of appliances, let me just bring up Whirlpool real quick, because we haven't talked about it. We haven't talked about it in a long time. And this thing is, parabolic to the point of we have never seen, I don't know if we've ever seen prices this high. Let me go to a monthly. We have not. I mean, this goes back to 1969, Bob, and $260 was a recent high, and we're trading $240. Dividend still paying pretty nicely. This company makes money. Whirlpool, based out of Benton Harbor, your old stomping grounds of Western Michigan. But this thing, through the roof, again, through the freaking roof, Bob, and this won't last, to your point. The demand is going to slacken. You're starting to see it so if we fractal out to the short-term charts, we peaked there kind of early May here. We came back to balance here at, trading right around where we are at 236. I think the next bounce will be telling. Like if it fails, which I expect it probably will, this thing's got a lot of room to the downside. Just a ton of room.
Fractal out further, Matt, back to that weekly, and that's.
This is the weekly. Just back to the weekly. The point of control is back here at 150-ish, and we're trading at 240. So, this thing it doesn't trade very, it's very illiquid surprisingly. It's well owned, but when this thing starts to get hit, it's going to get hit like no other. It's going to go down very fast because of the illiquidity of it. But it's not very unlike Bitcoin in this respect. So I do bring this up because the average volume daily is about 500,000 shares. It doesn't trade very widely, right? Right. So it's not a good thing. And all their product, by the way, is made in China, right? We all know it's made in China, shipped over here. So it comes into that whole story that we're talking about. Talking to friends in the shipping business, there are ships stuck galore I've got friends that can't. They've got product, they got demand. And by the way, I didn't mention this to you. On that demand, normally like a container would cost, my buddy was telling me 2 nights ago at dinner, it would normally cost him $2,000 to bring a container full of door jambs and window fixings and all these things for finishing work on housing. Now they're charging 12 grand for that same bucket, and they can't find a boat and they can't find a bucket, and they're willing to pay the 12 grand versus the 2 grand.
Holy shite.
So think about that. That's going on right now. So anyways, this is definitely a short target on my chart, Bob, and I'm not there yet, but soon it'll be there. And you're just biding time here for this thing to roll over. It's starting to a little bit on the daily, but again, I think maybe one more bounce to challenge that high and see if anything happens. I'm not a fan. I'm just not. I won't be chasing this any higher. I mean, it's silly.
Man, I wanted to bring this up because we talk about the coincidence index. How about the bullshit meter index? I mean, this one really blew me away how smug the energy secretary was. This was from several weeks ago when the Colonial Pipeline crisis was going on. And it was like, if everybody drove an electric car, this wouldn't be affecting you. I mean, I've seen so much data recently on how minuscule that is going to be in the energy demands of the world shifting to EV vehicles. But the ambiguity part, Matt, is the more fucking ridiculous thing here.
We don't, and we've talked about this before. The grid doesn't exist. If we all started driving a Leaf, a Volt, a Tesla, the new Audis, Beamers, etc. tomorrow, we don't have the grid to charge them. So it's a foolish conversation right now. It's a foolish.
But back to all the beautiful liberals who thought Joe Biden was going to be different. He was going to be the change we can believe in, right? Because first day in office, he shut down this Alaska project, right? First day in office, his ANWR halting all drilling, shut down the Keystone project, right? Everybody was cheerleading Joe on his first day for this incredible reversal back to hope, change that we can hope and change. And it always ends up to be spare some change.
Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling.
Anyway, this one blows me away because Politico on ConocoPhillips oil development in Alaska, one of the first major new oil projects in Alaska in years. Trump had okayed this, the 2020 decision to allow the Willow project. And Biden shut it down right away, but now he's supporting it. The Willow project will consist of 5 wells.
They must have run.
Wait a second, this is fucking unreal. Yeah. This is unreal. With the smugness of the energy, because it's going to produce 160,000 barrels of oil a day. Put that in your fucking put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's unreal, the disconnect. I saw a great tweet today about how, everybody's a climate champion, but nobody will ride the fucking bus.
Where's Al Gore on this?
Al Gore Leone and the Clinton crime family.
Where's Greta? Where's Greta today?
I guarantee you Al's got a piece of the action on this. Anyway, man, let's look at the oil chart because, this going through is actually negative to oil prices, right? 160,000 barrels a day.
Not so fast. Not so fast, Bobby.
Because oil demand is coming back and going through the roof.
Yeah, we're back here at 66.50 today, not quite to that 67 level. But again, this to your point, I don't know the efficacy and how quickly that stuff comes on, but this is kind of the third pass here at 60. We traded 60.
Share it up, Matt. We don't see it.
Okay, apologize. Thought I had put it up there. The 67, 68 range which is right where we are again. We hit 67 again. It's kind of, it's to me, it's at the top end of a range here, and we know that range, 58 to 68. So the next $10 comes on a weekend, a Friday close above 68 or a Friday close below 58. It's pretty basic here. The next,
you know what, and I really like when I look at that visual. It spent a lot of time above that value range now building. And the width of that value range, it's just a logical thing that's where the next distribution will come.
Right.
I agree 100%.
I mean, I mean, don't overthink it. Don't grind yourself and bringing in all these macro things and you know, it doesn't make sense. So it's interesting. You know, one thing I wanted to talk about when you said, you know, they're all coming back. You know, we talked about GameStop early in the week and said, hey, you know, and we talked about, is AMC going to join it and make that run to 20? Well, it did today. Finally, it did yesterday. And then I want to talk about this with you, because is the consumer actually going to the movie theaters, Bob? Let me know. Is he going back?
I don't.
I mean, everybody's got
About this before.
Everybody's got a 170-inch TV at home anymore. So seriously,
unless it's like some incredible cinematographically, you know, incredible special effects movie, I agree. Why would you ever go back to a movie theater? Right. And it's not because I'm afraid of catching the next virus from the person sitting next to me. It's because, you know, for the $15 price tag, 4 people go. I mean, you can have yourself a hell of a barbecue. And you're right, you know, an 80-inch, 160-inch, a 5,000-inch TV that will come out next to HD.
Here's the thing, Bob. I just want to point this out. I'm going to show a daily chart on this. And I'm going to show a daily chart. And the reason I'm going to show the daily chart is a couple things here. The volume specifically is something I want to talk about. Let me do it on a little closer in time frame, but the 89-minute, right? So this shows the spike we had in January, pissed itself away back to $6, and now here we are back to 24. We're testing that again, but the thing that's interesting is the volume again. Look at the volume. It's the same story as GME. We had players, we had money chasing it. Now it's just the stupid money just fucking playing around again, shooting themselves in the foot. So we got no volume, we got no players, and this thing's going to go up hard and it's going to come down hard again. It's just a matter of, I don't see it getting over 26. So, you know, buy some 26 puts, buy some $30 puts in the monies. You know, give yourself 6 months. This thing's not going to, it's not going to, and here's the comparison for me is I wanted to bring up the other two kind of, you know, there's more than two probably, but these are the two that I brought up. I want to bring up Cinemark, which is another movie theater complex stock. And this thing has not done as well because it hasn't, you know, it's only worth 2.8 billion versus the 11 or 12 that AMC is worth. So to your point, are we selling out 300% of the tickets for all these theaters? No, this is what this is telling me. And money. So you've got one little anomaly out there, and then the other one, Marcus, is another smaller theater. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I saved it. Hold on 1 second. MCS, I think. Yeah. So Marcus is another, Cineplex company. It's had a huge rally. I mean, it rallied from October from $7 up here to 24.
Market cap, but neither one of those charts is anything close to what the AMC.
They have not come back.
The AMC chart is strictly gaming.
Correct.
It's gaming.
Correct. So I want you to see this, but again, this is only a market cap of like 640 million, so much smaller. All right, so it's just telling me that the smart money. All it tells me, Bob, is the smart money is not getting involved in the sector. Therefore, you shouldn't. You don't have friends.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
All right, man. I saw a tweet from one of the Twinkle Toes. You know,
I mean, they've been pumping every day, dude.
Right, it's unreal. But the best today's was it's 40,000. Next stop 50,000. Like he's a pseudo technical analyst.
Yeah. These guys.
And let me just tell you something, because I actually fully expect us to go test that weekly momentum level, which is 45,000 ish. So I agree, 40,000, maybe we go to 45,000. If we go to 50,000, here's my thought. If we go to 50,000 and close the week above 45, why not just say new highs?
Right.
Because he's just a talking piece and he has no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even want to share the chart. You just heard it. The weekly momentum level is 45,500. Line in the sand. That's where the argument will happen between now and Sunday night. We got a holiday week next.
For me, I have a similar number in my head. It's 46, 48, somewhere in there. I don't see us even getting close to that, first of all. But if we do, if they have some fun over the holiday weekend. But again, we're red again for the day. So all we do is kind of get these little bumps and then they sell them every day. I mean, what's going to change? You know, what's going to change here?
What is changing that metric? Small volume today on the micro BTC, only 80,
Again,
8,000
small volume
contracts.
everywhere. I mean, the markets are dead, Bob. I mean, we're again, I call this the holidays. You know, it's the holidays, DAZE, because during these 4-day weeks, and we're done already. I told you this on Tuesday. Like, I mean,
Oh, believe me, I know.
42.
And if you want, we can argue about Murphy's Law now.
We opened the SPOOs at 42.0475, and we're trading 42.0350. Yesterday we had a 2-point up to down. Exciting stuff. Find something
Murphy's
else.
Law 2.0. Let's go back to some pop. Your former Detroit Lion head coach Matt Patricia, dude. When they hired him, I thought that's what the Lions needed, right? Just good NFC North, solid defense. Give up 9 points a game, and you can do anything with Matt Stafford and win the division. Murphy's Law 2.0 is you will always be promoted to a position that you're not near as good at as the one that you excelled at, that shined the light on you, that got you that promotion. And now Patricia back to the New England Patriots. If you're a Patriots fan, I don't care what, what his specific role is going to be. I can't imagine that he just doesn't go right back to defensive coordinator. But, the Patriots, and we have argued about this more than once, Matt, that Tom Brady has also been associated with great defenses over the years to his benefit. Anyway, one other thing I wanted to share, and I'm not sure where it is.
And the Patriots defense suffered the last couple of years, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, I hate to sound like an old man, but defenses win championships.
I mean, it does.
I mean, they do. All right, Matt, the other thing that's happening is this weekend, right? It's Memorial Day, and it is the official opening of grilling season. Now, my associates over at Manja.tv, Matt, they live by the fact that grilling season never closes. In fact, the motto over there is shovel a path to the grill before you shovel the sidewalk and the driveway in the winter. Like, the grill is the most important access point on your property, and that should be shoveled first. So happy Memorial Day. And we'll say it again tomorrow, right? But for sure, the Shrimp Mojo shrimp are going to be on the HFR grill this weekend. What else? What else did we want to cover? I know there had to be some other price discovery we wanted to talk about.
No, I didn't have much on the price discovery. I wanted to talk theaters. I wanted to talk.
All right, let me ask you this, because you are a much better profile trader than I, and I brought this up and we talked about it a little bit. And whether this is AMC or not, this was a weekly, and this was a monthly chart, right? And I wanted to get your thoughts on two distinct profiles, because they spent a lot of time here, 4 years, basically 23 to the highs they made up at 36. Do you ever look at the meat of profiles from much earlier time frames, depending on the fractal that you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I always look at. I use a long time frame fractal always, which just gives me a composite. So I do it a little differently than you look at it. But and by the way, since we've been talking, AMC has gone up further, 24.40.
All right, so here's my point here on this particular. If you just look at the snapshot where they spent here in this 4 years before they fell out and shit the bed, beginning in May, by the way, of 2017, that value range was 24, let's call it 24 even to 32 even. Point of control in that 4-year slot is right around 30 and a 30.75. They're trading into that value range. I mean, this for sure is not a fundamental play, Matt. This is a short squeeze. And so, especially in this type of environment.
Let me take a stab at it, because
all right, yeah.
I got a little different way of looking at it than you do. Your little 30.75 is up here, right?
Right on.
And mine, it's the same thing. It's there, but it's very faint. And this is where we are. We're at the top of the range. right? So yeah, if we can close over 25 here today and tomorrow, Friday, tomorrow's Friday, end of month, end of week, that'd be big. That would be huge. So fundamentally, like if I would wait for tomorrow's close, I wouldn't even trade this thing until tomorrow. I'd say, okay, I got time. If
Well,
this
not only
is
that, because if
it's 22 tomorrow, I don't give a shit. I missed $2. I don't care.
Right
But
on.
if it goes to 26, yeah, it could go to 34. It definitely could. But I
especially
would,
since you shared those other two charts, there's nothing about the fundamental story here involved in this trade. There's
No.
nothing about future sales in
this
physical
is a pure,
movie
this
theaters.
is a pure mechanical trading vehicle right now, and it's a plaything. And until they're done with it, it's not over. But again, the things that I pointed out before, I'll point out again here: declining volume and declining momentum. Right? We got the monthly here, not as high, even though we've spiked to prices that are 20% higher than they were in January today. The volume is weak, and the momentum. Here's a close in of it, Bob. Your RSI, the momentum here was 93, which is through the roof. It doesn't ever get that high. This time 83, which is seriously into the roof, but not through it. But when the RSI is not showing the same type of momentum, even though the price is. So when I have divergence like that, warning, Will Robinson.
Right on.
Dr. Smith, help.
Help me.
Help the robot.
All right, Matt. Always a pleasure.
Bob, it's interesting. We were talking a little bit about the way things play out, but it's I find it an interesting and ambiguous time right now, and I think the ambiguity is getting old to most people. The 70% decrease in CNN news just shows you that people see the bullshit. They're sick of it. They're tired of it. They want truth, and they don't want.
Hey, Matt, I said it yesterday. The truth has no sponsor.
Right.
And, I was patted on the back for that statement, but their sponsorship dollars are based on eyeballs. All media companies are, right?
I mean, why don't we start a news company called Truth?
The Truth. I remember back in the day, somebody started a news company called The Good News, and it failed miserably. There's no money in The Truth, and there's fucking even less money in The Good News.
So as we kick off summer, what do where do you see things? Like where do you see us heading here the next?
Well, I think for sure when you look at the fact that there is price elasticity in everything, and prices sooner or later affect behavior, and you're seeing that already, Matt. And as that works through the market, here's the other thing. Speaking of just the fundamentals, which and I don't care who you talk to, nobody can tell you that with the leverage being deployed, the record leverage being deployed into the markets, the valuations that seem to indicate a perfect Garden of Eden coming out of this thing. All of those things would point to there should be a correction, right? And you've seen it in crypto. You've seen that correction. We've not seen it in the indices yet. The other thing that I read, though, on the other side of the structural is how much options play has gone on or is going on in this market. And
that's because options are priced like stocks were in the 2000s.
Right. I'm the worst at options, but they're like the gamma or the theta or the fucking whatever it is. That points to maybe that there needs to be a melt up yet, even at these ridiculous valuations.
Yeah.
And the market surely has not shown me that it wants to roll over yet, like it did, and like we talked about in Bitcoin in that asset class, right?
Right.
So, I think there's a reckoning coming this summer. We saw last week. The Fed has to just fucking let a silent but deadly squeaker of a fart out about taper. If they taper in their pants just a little bit, the market gets schmeezed, right? Well,
yeah.
What happens to this market when not only they talk about tapering, they actually fucking start doing it? Where's the bottom then?
Yeah.
I don't know. At my age, Matt, the bravest thing I can do sometimes is let a squeaker out. So the Fed, I think, has their diet is so full of fiber right now that it's going to be pretty precarious when they try to ease the balloon.
Hey, the other one that I wanted to bring up, and we should have talked about it earlier in the price discovery, but have you seen this, the bit about, the farmers are basically being subsidized to not
You know
grow?
what? I saw you and you shared that, Matt, but that's something this is not new. This has been going on.
We'll talk about it because I don't follow it.
It's for sure been going on forever. And, I've talked to a few people. Here's the thing. The food production system is, it's not like, it's not like really anything else. And what the last thing that you want is a bunch of farmers to go broke and then to have serious food shortages. I don't see this as a food shortage situation. I see it as an incredibly complex model, and one that the government is right that you cannot let this system fail. And so whether they do it right or not is another question. How efficient it is, for sure, prices are through the roof, and so the fact that they're idling acreage doesn't seem to make sense with the price of grains. But this has been a long standing system in place that has gone on. So I don't think, I don't think there's any hyperbole needed that the government is trying to.
Non-issue for you. Non-issue for you.
Non-issue. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your feedback. We appreciate it.
And with that, Matt, have a great frickin' day.
Hey, Bob, how's your twin doing in the CCP? Is he hanging in there?
Let's why don't we go down just for a second? Xi's on the stage right now.
Winnie the Pooh.
He's been saying ad nauseum that we need to shut down any rhetoric around the origins of the virus. He's like, how did we slip up here? I thought we had this under control. We had silenced this story for a year. He's very upset anyway, that the story now is coming back full circle, that da 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 da, that the evil empire might have. How about let's jump back to the even more ridiculousness of. Hold on a second, man. See, like that, I can't even undo the do. We got to do the intro again.
The production, I'm telling you.
Look at all that matrix of all the tradable symbols. I don't know if you noticed that before, Matt, all the tradable symbols in the matrix. Some thought given to the graphics here. Matt, how about Rand Paul putting forth a bill to
no more
never fund the basis is for the whole origin story, right? What do they call it, Matt? What do they call the gain of function?
Gain of function, yeah.
Gain of function test,
which is basically taking it and making it and weaponizing it is what it means.
Weaponizing viruses, yes. Right? Now
which we don't do too much in the U.S., but I'm sure we do, but it's private, or it's probably very hush hush. But it's definitely it's a lot easier to do in China because they do this type of thing. They grow scalps on monkeys' asses. They find that fun.
My thought was that we need a gain of fuck off function here more, and that's what I've been working on. Forget the gain of function. We need the gain of fuck off. And there used to be a time where question everything was like the standard operating procedure of every American. And somehow we've lost the way. Like The government's going to do a better job and listen to the government. I saw a great share, Matt, of this young man that I don't know if he was in Miami from Cuba, lived and grew up his whole life in Cuba. And they took him into a Walmart. And it was basically like going into a future virtual reality show. His absolute amazement at how many SKUs do you think a Walmart has? 10,000?
Oh God, I
remember trying to get the rub into Newport Market, and the guy was like, "Listen, I like it, but I'm sorry, I got 7,000 SKUs." And So it basically gave me the no on the rub in Newport Market. So Newport Market has 7,000 SKUs.
Yeah.
Like
I
what
would
does
guess.
Walmart have?
Yeah, I would guess 100,000 plus for Walmart.
Right? Like, and so let me ask you the government agency that can do that better than Walmart can.
No, they're not even on IBM enterprise computers in their world. So,
wait a second. I thought Al Gore invented the internet and brought it to the White House in '92.
He invented climate change. That's for sure.
All right, Matt, we're off subject. We're off target. Stay over the target. Stay disciplined. Trade disciplined. Join us at marketvetals.io and add a layer of discipline to your trade. Matt, you have a great day.
Thank you, Bobby. You too.